I interviewed jet pilots that were solid people, perfect. I mean, great pilots, great everything. And they said, we saw things, sir, that were very strange, like a round ball, but it wasn't a comet or a meteor. It was something. And it was going 4 times faster than an F-22, which is a very fast plane.
There are now growing claims that Donald Trump is preparing to make significant statements regarding the mysterious interstellar object 3I Atlas, a topic that has captivated astronomers, conspiracy theorists, and government officials alike. The growing anticipation stems not only from the object's odd behavior, but also from Trump's own statements, which have hinted at a readiness to release highly classified materials related to UFOs and extraterrestrial phenomena. In a 2024 interview with Lex Fridman, Trump went so far as to suggest that if he were re-elected, he would declassify UFO-related footage and documents, a move that could shatter decades of government secrecy. This sudden surge in attention to 3I Atlas is particularly compelling given the timing. Just before the recent speculation about Trump's potential disclosures, NASA had released images of the interstellar object using its HiRISE camera aboard the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter. However, these images were met with disappointment. Instead of providing any clarity, the photos were downsampled to low resolution, offering little more than a blurry smear. While many dismiss the images as a non-event, one group of independent researchers, Earth Exists, went beyond the surface-level analysis and examined the metadata accompanying the image. Their investigation revealed something startling. The data contained far more detailed information than what had been made available to the public. Critical elements, such as color data, spectral information, and heat readings, were all omitted. This revelation raised immediate questions. Why had NASA, an agency known for its commitment to scientific transparency, withheld such important data? Was there a deliberate effort to obscure the true nature of 3I Atlas? As the metadata anomaly sent ripples through the scientific community, speculation began to mount. Some suggested that the government might be withholding information to prevent public panic or to control the narrative surrounding extraterrestrial phenomena. Others speculated that perhaps the object itself, 3I Atlas, was more than just a comet, as initially assumed. The idea that 3I Atlas could be a fragment of something far more complex or even artificial has gained traction. And now, with Trump's promises of increased transparency, the question on everyone's mind is whether he might be poised to make a major move, one that could change the course of human understanding. The idea that Trump could be preparing to confirm extraterrestrial phenomena is not as far-fetched as it might seem. In his interview with Lex Fridman, Trump discussed his potential plans to release classified UFO footage if he were to win the presidency again. The conversation touched on the broader topic of UAPs, and Trump's statement suggested a clear willingness to provide the public with the truth. With Trump's statements in mind, the question arises, why now? What has changed that might prompt him to take action? The answer may lie in the strange behavior of 3I Atlas itself. While the initial release of NASA's images of 3I Atlas left many disappointed, only offering a blurry, downsampled snapshot, deeper investigation into the data has opened the door to much more tantalizing possibilities. The metadata attached to those images, revealing far more detailed information than was originally shared, suggests that 3I Atlas is far from a simple interstellar comet. This enigmatic object is becoming the focal point of intense speculation, with scientists now suggesting that it could be part of a larger, more complex system. Rather than just a rogue rock tumbling through the cosmos, 3I Atlas might represent something far more remarkable, possibly a fragment of an artificial object or even an interstellar probe. Avi Loeb, a renowned astrophysicist at Harvard University, has been one of the leading voices proposing that 3I Atlas could be something other than a typical comet. Loeb's work has centered on the idea that the object's unusual characteristics might point to artificial origins rather than natural processes. One of the most striking features of 3I Atlas is its anti-tail, a phenomenon that has perplexed astronomers since the object's first appearance. Unlike the traditional tail of a comet, which is created by gas and dust particles being expelled due to the sun's heat, The antitail of 3I Atlas emits an unusually bright, diffuse glow that cannot easily be explained by conventional cometary behavior. Loeb suggests that this glowing feature could actually be caused by a swarm of smaller objects surrounding 3I Atlas, reflecting sunlight and creating the unusual visual effect. This idea challenges traditional models of cometary behavior, where a single tail forms from the sublimation of a comet's nucleus. What makes this theory even more compelling is that Loeb's research indicates that the antitail might not be a random scatter of dust at all. Instead, it could be a structured formation of objects, possibly acting in a coordinated manner. Such a phenomenon would be highly unusual for a comet and points toward the possibility that 3I Atlas is not a natural object at all. If these smaller objects are reflecting sunlight in a specific manner, it could suggest that they were intentionally arranged or placed, further fueling the theory that 3I Atlas is part of an engineered system, one that might have been deliberately sent toward our solar system. Another anomaly that has drawn attention is the object's emission of pulsed jets. Comets typically release jets of gas and dust as they approach the Sun, but these are usually irregular and uncoordinated. In the case of 3I Atlas, however, Loeb has speculated that the jets could be pulsed, emitting in rhythmic intervals akin to a heartbeat. This pulsing nature is far more consistent with an engineered propulsion system than with the random release of gases. If 3I Atlas is emitting these jets in a deliberate, cyclical manner, it could suggest a form of propulsion or energy output far beyond what is typically observed in natural comets. This raises the tantalizing possibility that the object could be powered by an unknown technology, potentially signaling that it is not a natural object, but rather something much more sophisticated. These observations, when considered together, form a compelling case that 3I Atlas may be something much more than a comet or asteroid. It might be a part of a much larger puzzle, one that suggests the presence of intelligent design. However, there are still other anomalies surrounding 3I Atlas that further challenge the idea that this object is just a wayward space rock. Perhaps most perplexing of all is the object's gravitational behavior. 3I Atlas has exhibited non-gravitational acceleration, meaning its trajectory has deviated in ways that cannot be explained by the gravitational forces acting upon it. While comets often experience non-gravitational acceleration due to the outgassing of materials, the behavior of 3I Atlas has been unusually pronounced, indicating that something else may be at work. Theories for this non-gravitational acceleration abound. Some have speculated that it could be the result of outgassing, a phenomenon that occurs when a comet's volatile materials evaporate as it heats up near the Sun. However, this explanation does not fully account for the sharp deviation in 3I Atlas's path. Loeb's suggestion is that the object may be influenced by an external force, potentially even artificial propulsion, a possibility that continues to stir debate within the scientific community. If 3I Atlas is indeed accelerating in ways that defy natural explanations, it only adds weight to the theory that this object is not what it appears to be. Additionally, the shape and rotation of 3I Atlas have been sources of further mystery. Early observations suggested that the object may not be rotating in a simple, predictable manner. Some scientists believe that 3I Atlas could be tumbling through space in a chaotic fashion, further complicating efforts to understand its true nature. This erratic rotation could be a clue to the object's origins, possibly indicating that it has undergone some form of collision or disruption. Alternatively, it could also be a sign that the object's rotation is being controlled or influenced by an external force, potentially something artificial. When you put all of these anomalies together, the anti-tail, the pulsed jets, the non-gravitational acceleration, and the unusual shape and rotation, 3I Atlas begins to look less like a natural object and more like something engineered with intent. While some might argue that these phenomena can be explained by natural forces, the combination of so many unusual characteristics points to the possibility that 3I Atlas is not just an interstellar wanderer, but rather something designed and placed on its trajectory with purpose. This leads to an even larger question. What does this all mean for the ongoing discussion surrounding extraterrestrial life? If 3I Atlas is indeed an artificial object, it could be the first definitive evidence of extraterrestrial intelligence that humanity has ever encountered. For years, the scientific community has speculated about the possibility of intelligent life beyond Earth, but no concrete evidence has ever emerged. If 3I Atlas is a fragment of a larger engineered system, it could represent a communication or signal from an alien civilization, perhaps placed deliberately to make contact with humanity. The implications of such a discovery are profound, both scientifically and philosophically. It would challenge everything we know about the universe and our place in it, forcing us to confront the reality that we may not be alone. At the same time, the growing anomalies surrounding 3I Atlas, combined with the mystery of the NASA image release and Trump's recent promises of transparency, suggest that the time for secrecy may be running out. If Trump is true to his word, and if he moves forward with plans to release classified UFO materials, the world could soon learn more about 3I Atlas and the mysteries it represents. As the pressure for disclosure continues to mount, the question remains, will Trump be the one to bring the truth to light? If so, the revelations about 3I Atlas could be just the beginning, and humanity could be on the cusp of one of the most significant discoveries in history.